You are Artyom, a young man who, after the bombs fell, lives underground with the rest of civilization in the metro. It is not an easy life, but it is the only life you have ever known, and you are all that stands between civilization's survivors and the horrors of the surface world. Metro 2033 is a first-person shooter that takes place in a post-apocalyptic Russian landscape, where you and the rest of the people that survived have to live underground in the old metro tubes and occasionally forge back up to the surface to gather supplies and fight off the roving monsters that threaten your welfare. Over the course of the game, you'll travel to different bombed-out locations, fighting all sorts of crazy soldiers and crazy monsters, trying to protect what little of civilization remains. Now, at first when I started playing Metro, I was kind of afraid that after a while I would get tired of running around in what are basically sewers. And yet, as the game went on, I kind of got into it because, to Metro's credit, one of the best things about it is it's very well made. All the environments are very well detailed, very well designed. They're fantastically atmospheric. All of the weapons handle well, they feel right. There's a lot of variation in your objectives and the type of enemies that you can encounter, either straight up firefights or perhaps sometimes you'll be sneaking around trying to get behind enemy lines. It's a big, well-realized world, and the strong atmosphere is one of the best parts of the game. Unfortunately, it's not perfect. While the atmosphere and the design are great, some of the mechanics are severely limiting. For instance, in the parts of the game where you have to travel above ground into the ruins of the old world, you have to put on a gas mask because you can't breathe the toxic air. Now, I don't mind the gas mask itself, but what is annoying is that it relies on filters in order to be effective. And you have to change these filters out or you will choke to death. Unfortunately, the game doesn't do a great job of telling you when these encounters are going to be coming up. So there are times when you can be surprised by a trip to the surface and, oh no, you don't have enough gas filters in order to properly scout the area, leading to a horrible grisly death and a forced reload. Another thing is that the game's stealth system is contextually very hard to use. You see, you have a light sensor that's mounted onto your watch, and this is basically the in-game way of telling you how in the light you are and how easily you are to see. Your visibility rating, I guess would be the word for it, maybe. Now, normally, it's next to whatever weapon you're using. Down there in the right, you can kind of see it. Now, watch what happens when I switch to the throwing knives, one of the few fully silenced weapons in the game. Yep. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. Now imagine trying to use this system while sneaking around a bunch of dark, grimy tunnels with who knows what waiting for you in the darkness. It's a pity because everything else is really well done. In conclusion, Metro 2033 is a good game. A 3 out of 4. It's thematic, it's atmospheric, it has solid gunplay. It's just that there are some nagging mechanical concerns that really keep it from being a standout title. Thanks for listening. Now get on out there and save the Metro. It's your duty to the motherland. Alright, just gonna wander up here, check this out, and what's all this then? Probably just some kind of goofy science fiction junk.